Hello, good morning. Please, if you can hear me, kindly signify by dropping a message on the chat box. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Okay, good morning. I'm sorry for starting a little bit late. That's due to some technical issues, but everything has been sorted out now, so we can proceed now. So thank you one more time for making our time to join today's morning market review. And like always, we'll be looking at 10 tradable instruments to possibly give you the entry point and also make sure you make something out of it by the end of the day. So first of all, we'll be looking at USD pairs. For some couple of days now, the US dollar has been on a rally. And on Monday, there was an FOMC meeting. And a whole lot of things happens for most of us that traded on Monday. Okay. So, but I also like to point out that the importance of the money market review is also for us to trade and also to make money. So it's very important that if you have low or zero capital in your account, it's important that you reach out to your account manager at least to get to fund your account so you'd be able to take full advantage of all the entry points or the trades we'll be calling out for the day. And also for you to know, we are currently running a deposit bonus of 50%. So if you'd like to take advantage of it, please kindly reach out to your account manager so he can actually explain to you properly. So first and foremost, let's look at USD CAD. And yesterday being 27th of July, the dollar, as you all see, has been kindly trying to rebound against the Canadian dollar, because for some couple of months now, the dollar has been weak against the Canadian dollar. But due to the FOMC news and data that was released in the US on Wednesday, it was more or less like a support for the dollar to rebound. And also, if you look at it currently now on the daily time frame, you could also see that it bounced off a weak support, and it's been on slightly an upward trend per se. But first and foremost, for today, we actually were expecting some couple of news to come out from the US. And like we all know, the best way to trade is first of all to look at the fundamental aspect of trading before you consider the technical aspect. So looking at USD CAD for today, we're actually expecting some series of news, both from the US and also from Canada. And come 1:30, we have the GDP coming out from Canada. We also have the core PCE price index coming out from the US. You also have the employment cost index. You also have the personal income. You also have the personal spending. All these things are coming out by 1:30. Then by 3 p.m., we're also expecting the reversed UMO consumer sentiment, a high impact news, and also UMO inflation expectations, which is a low impact news. But before then, looking at the move on USD CAD currently, you could equally see that the price of USD CAD got to this verified resistance and it was pushed back. So looking at the move currently now, we expect a retracement or a breakout. Now, for us to be able to go into this market for a bullish trade, we should be expecting price to successfully to break and close above the verified resistance which we have here. Now, if price is able to break this level, we can equally go in for a suggested buy. But if at the end of the day or the end of this candlestick, because this 1 hour time frame and it's 19 minutes gone, if by the end of this 1 hour time frame, price is unable to to break past this verified resistance, we actually be looking at a sell at this point. We should be looking at a sell at this region with our expected take profit just before on this support at 23.6 Fibonacci level. Now, most of the push for USD pairs today is going to be mostly fundamental. It's going to be mostly fundamental because of the series of high impact news we're expecting from the US. But if you want to go in technically, you can equally look at taking a buy above the verified resistance, okay, and equally take your profit just before the 0.0 full retracement of USD CAD. But alternatively, you can go in for a suggested sell. You can go in for a suggested sell, okay, at this point. Then you can also look at taking your profit on this 23.6 support level on USD CAD. No, like we all know, the oil always contribute to the strength of the Canadian dollar, but we also get to that more later to give you clear explanation. But if you wouldn't want to go in at this moment, you can equally wait till 1:30. We won't be expecting series of news from Canada and also from the US, which is also going to move a whole lot, and we expect you to make money from that move. Okay. So having looked at USD CAD, let's also look at Euro USD, which is also another wonderful pair. Now you could also see that the dollar has actually been rebounding against the euro for some couple of days now, because like I mentioned earlier, the dollar has been weak for quite some time, and the FOMC data and also the unemployment claims that came out last week gave a boost to the dollar as a currency. Now looking at this pair on the daily time frame, you could also see that yesterday, being the 27th, that price was able to successfully close below this support on the daily time frame. Was able to close below this support on the daily time frame. Now, if you go back to 4 hours and you look at the marked out, the region that actually marked out now, you could also see currently now that the reason why price has been stalling on this particular support here is because of there is a support at this particular level. And if you also make use of your Fibonacci, this is actually the 61.8 Fibonacci support level, which is also a strong point for price to break. Now, if you go back and come back to this period, you could also see there was a struggle. There was a struggle at this point, and at the end of the day, price retraced upwards. And looking at it currently now, we're also experiencing the same thing at this point here. So for us to take suggested trades now, if price is able to break past this point, I'm going to suggest a continued sell for Euro USD. I'm going to suggest a continued sell for Euro USD if price is able to break past this point. You can probably go as far as setting your take profits just at this region. If price is able to break past this level of support, you can equally go for take a suggested sell here and set your take profit just before this support region here. But alternatively, looking at what happened the previous time, and now the strength of dollar is coming purely from all the strong fundamental news that has been out for some couple of days now, starting from last week when the unemployment claims came out in favor of the dollar. So, but alternatively, if price is able to break past this point, that's going bullish, you can equally take a suggested buy at this point. And equally set your take profit just before this region where you have the 50.0 Fibonacci level. Now, if there's also a breakout and price also able to break past this 50.0 Fibonacci level, you can equally continue going for a continued buy. But also have it in mind, like I mentioned earlier, that we have a news coming out today by 1:30. And most times whenever you're expecting news, most especially high impact news, the market might actually range for a while. Then once the news comes out, there's going to be a whole lot of move. So, but if you also look at it now, because of this solid now, that's why I suggested that we can equally take our suggested sell at this point with our take profit just around this region, and also a suggested buy at this point with our take profit just before the 50.0 Fibonacci level. So it's important that you have the equity and the capital to take all these trades. That's just the good thing about it. And we're also here to support you with some redeposit bonus if you want to take advantage of all the news coming out for today. So having looked at Euro USD, let's also look at GBP USD, which is another strong pair. that's been on the move for quite some time. Now, if you go back to the daily time frame, like seen in USD CAD, Euro USD. If you also look at the GBP USD, you will equally notice that the dollar across board has been weak, but thanks to the news that has been coming out and has been giving some strength to the dollar. So for today as well, for GBP USD, technically, you could see that price has been stalling at this particular level. You could equally see here that price action has been stalling, or has been finding it difficult to break below that level. Even when it got to this same region here, same thing happened, and now it's currently sitting on this same region as well. So let's take it back to 4 hours so we can equally have a proper view as to what is holding the price there. Now, if you come here now, you are going to see there is a 61.8 Fibonacci level support at this region, and that is what is actually restricting price from going further down. Now, if you also go back to this region, you could equally see that we have the support here, which equally pushed the price back up, as at the time the same move repeated itself here. Okay, so what we should be looking out for now is a breakout. What we should be looking at for now is a breakout, okay? So we are actually going to be waiting for a breakout here, and the breakout can actually happen either technically or fundamentally, okay? But because of the news we're expecting today, I think we expect a whole lot of move and a whole lot of things to happen today. So, but technically speaking, before the news comes out, now, if price is able to break below this support region, if price is able to break below this support region here, I'm going to suggest a sell at this point. If price is able to break below this support region, I'm going to suggest a sell at this region. And you can equally look forward to setting your take profit just before this untested support. You can equally look at setting your take profit just before the untested support. Now I'm going to repeat it again. Now, because of the past and previous experience of price when it got to this level, we should be waiting or be looking out for a breakout. Okay, so let's wait and look out for a breakout. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I said earlier, I'm going to suggest a sell at this point, that if price is able to break past this support region, you can equally look at setting your take profit just before the untested support. But alternatively, if price decides to push bullish, I'm going to suggest a buy at this region just after the 50.0 Fibonacci level. That's where I'm going to suggest our entry for a buy on GBP USD. But also have it in mind that we're expecting some couple of fundamental news from the US, which is definitely going to push the market. So rather than take a risk to enter at this point, I would suggest we wait for the breakout to take place and for price to close below the 61.8 Fibonacci level. Now, having looked at GBP USD, let's also take a look at AUD USD. Let's take a look at AUD USD. Let's take a look at AUD USD. Okay. So although for today, because of the gap, I think Australia is actually around 7 or 8 hours ahead of us here in Nigeria. And if you make use of your Forex factory, definitely you would see that there was a low impact news that was released in Australia earlier. That was around 2:30 a.m. Nigerian time, and all the both news came out negative for Australian dollar. But if you look at it yesterday, you could also see for the past 3 consecutive days, for the past adding today, you could also see that the dollar has been constantly gaining superior strength against the AUD. Okay, and if you also take it back to 1 hour time frame, you could also see that dollar has been on a consistent lower low against the AUD as a currency. Now, looking at where price is now, I think we actually oversold AUD USD. Although the sell is likely to continue, that's why we're also looking forward to the news. We're expecting to come out from the US later today. But for this morning, I wouldn't actually suggest we join on this sell for AUD USD for now. So more or less, I'll be looking more or less for a retracement. Although fundamentally, the news that came out this morning points towards a continued sell for AUD USD, but because of the move and the support and everything that price has broken, I would rather suggest we look out for a retracement. Okay, but even if you want to take a sell down, now if you come back to 4 hours, if you look at this particular region, we will also see that price has always been rejected here. And from what we have here, price is just some few pips away from this same point. And if you look at this trend line marked here, this trend line serves as a support. So if you decide to take a suggested sell at this point, you might actually not really make much from the move, or else if you are using a large lot size for that. Okay. So, but for me, I'm going to suggest we look out for a reversal, or better still, we wait for the news coming out from the US later today, because I'm sure if the news actually boosts the dollar, I even expect the sell to continue further and probably even break this verified support that we have at this region. But for a suggested buy, if price is able to retrace back to this particular point we have here, if price is able to retrace back to this region here, I'm going to suggest a buy at this region. If price is able to retrace at least to this region here, okay, I'm going to suggest a buy. You can equally take our buy from here. Okay, you can take a buy from this suggested region here, and we can also look at taking our profit just before the 23.6 Fibonacci level, just before the 23.6 Fibonacci level. So I suggest a buy if price is able to retrace above the 0.0 Fibonacci level here. I suggest a buy at this point, and we can equally have our take profit just before the 23.6 Fibonacci, just before the 23.6 Fibonacci level. Okay, but alternatively, pending the outcome of the news we're expecting, you can equally wait and wait for a continued sell on AUD USD, because I wouldn't want to just to tell you now to dive into this market now, because a whole lot can happen based on the previous experience that we have normally at this same support. And also, if you can see it here, if you notice at this point here, there was a retracement, and at this point here, there was a retracement. Same thing happened at this particular point here, and that is where price is currently sitting. So I don't want you to just to go in for going in sake. And if you also look at it on the 30 minutes time frame, you could also have a proper and clear view as to why price is stalling. That is because there is a support at this region. So taking a buy here now might be just going in for a risk. But if you actually still insist that I want to continue a buy, now you can equally look at taking your buy at this particular region mentioned there, and just monitor the trade closely to take your profit. Okay, so let's having looked at this, let's equally take a look at So having looked at AUD, okay, actually just say a question now. Please use price numbers, because some of us does not have that Fibonacci indicator to get the number. Now I'm actually not using the Fibonacci to give you numbers. I'm actually marking out the regions where we actually have support and resistant regions. It's just like a region where you have a support and resistance. So if you actually look properly, you notice that I equally show you where you can equally take the suggested buy or sell. Okay, so it's just a region, not a particular price point, like I just saw on the chart now. Okay, so I think I just saw a question now, but let me just repeat what I said earlier about Euro USD. Okay, so for Euro USD, like I mentioned earlier, currently now the dollar is a whole lot stronger than the euro, coupled with all the favorable news that have been coming out from the US, the FOMC meeting, the unemployment claims, the non-farm payroll. These data has actually gone ahead to give dollar superior strength against the euro. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, today we are also expecting some fundamental news from the US. So it's advisable that we wait to see the outcome of this news we're expecting from the US. It's advisable that we wait. It might actually weaken the dollar a little bit because of the enormous strength that the dollar has been possessing for a while now. So you can actually exercise patience and wait for the outcome of the news. But if the news still favors the dollar, I equally expect the the strength of the euro to continue to get weaker than we are seeing currently. So just wait by 1:30. We are expecting some news from the US as well by 1:30 and also by 3 p.m. That should give you a clear view as to what to see or expect, whether the euro will rebound against the dollar. So let's also take a look at Euro GBP. That's the euro against the Great Britain pounds. Okay. So I think so let's also take a look at what happened yesterday on Euro GBP. Now, in the same way, the dollar has been gaining against you. Like I mentioned earlier, you also see that against Euro GBP, against GBP, the euro is still weak. Okay, against GBP, the euro is still weak as well. Against GBP, the euro is still weak as well. Okay, so for most of us or some of us that are actually looking out for a rebound, it's actually a general problem for euro as the currency is currently weak. So currently now you could equally see that price on the daily time frame is sitting on the support, and there's the price that has equally been ranging for quite some, for 2-3 days now. Today I'm going to make it the third day. Price has been ranging at that particular region. And for euro, we're actually not expecting any major news that would either strengthen or weaken the euro or GBP. So for today, everything is going to be based on pure technical analysis. Now for the euro for this morning, if you look on the 1 hour daily time frame, is currently sitting on a support. If you take it back 2 to 4 hours, you could equally see that price is being restricted as well because of the support on the daily time frame. Now, if you go back to 1 hour, you could also see that price is struggling here and is trying to push back a little bit. But if you look at it on the 30 minutes time frame, you could equally see clearly the support that is currently holding price from moving any further. So technically, if there's a breakout and price is able to break below, this support currently, if price is able to break below this support currently, be it on any time frame. Now, if price is able to trade below the current price, and if you can see on my screen now, you can see the marked out region, that if price is able to break below this price level, we expect the price of Euro GBP to continue to push further down in favor of the Great Britain pounds. So at this point, if you are looking at my screen now, at this particular entry point here, this is actually a suggested point where you can, execute a suggested sell if price is able to break below this level. Okay, but alternatively, based on the past movement and experience, whenever price gets to this level, we actually equally expect price to retrace as well. Now, for retracement, if price is able to retrace and price is able to trade above this price level here, as marked out on the screen, if price is able to retrace and trade above this price level, you can go in for a suggested buy and equally take your profit just before the untested resistance. It's also important to know that price respects support and resistance a whole lot. So that's why it wouldn't be nice if you ignore any support or resistance. It's important you consider it because price respects it a whole lot. So for the suggested sell, if there is a breakout and price is able to trade below this particular region here, you can equally take a suggested sell, and you can sell as far as this support region here. You can just set your take profit in between or just before this support region at this point. But alternatively, if price decides to rebound in favor of the euro, you can go in for a suggested buy and just set your take profit just before the untested resistance at this region we can see on my screen. Okay, so having looked at currencies, let's also look at commodities and indices. First of all, let's have a look at gold. Let's have a look at gold, because like we all know, the performance of the US dollar also decides the strength and the weakness of gold. If you are, like I mentioned earlier, if you look at across board, dollar has been gaining massively for some couple of days now, and you can equally see the move here on gold. Yesterday as well, there was also a drop on gold, and yesterday's candle was able to engulf 2 days buy candle on gold. But for today, because of the news we're equally expecting from the US by 1:30 and 3 p.m., we also expect that to have an adverse effect on the price of gold today. And for most of us actually gold traders, we know that the value per pip of gold is very good, and it's quite superior to some of the other pairs that we trade on. So for you to be able to trade on gold, you also need to have a good capital or equity, which also here to support you with some bonus to be able to make your deposit after now. So for gold, looking at it on a 30-minute time frame, you could see clearly that it's on a support at this particular region, and it's been struggling to break past this level. Okay, so but for gold, if price successfully and is able to trade below this point, this support region, if price is able to trade below this support region, it will also be a good time to take a suggested sell on gold, and you can equally sell all the way to the support we have also at this same region. You can take your suggested sell entry at this suggested region here, and you can equally take your profit on this support here. Okay, so but alternatively, if gold rebounds, probably because of the news we're expecting, or if anything happens before the news, you can equally join the bullish train on gold and also make some profit. Now, if price is able to rebound above this support region here, if price is able to rebound above this support region, you can equally go in for a suggested sell, for a suggested buy, and you can, you have a whole lot of space to cover if price decides to go bullish. But I'd rather suggest that we take our profit bit by bit until price is able to get to 23.6 Fibonacci level, which is also a support level as well. So you can take a suggested buy here and also set your take profit at this region. Now if price continues to go further, you can equally set your second take profit just here. You can equally set your second take profit just here. Okay. So for the sell, for the buy, you can actually take a buy just above this resistance point here. You can equally take a suggested your take profit here, and equally take another take profit just before the 23.6 Fibonacci level. But in all, make sure you look out for the news coming out by the 1:30 later today. Okay. So let's also look at US 100 to see what US 100 is going to do for today. So yesterday, there was more or less like a tussle in the market. You could see the spike of US 100. You could see where the price got to, and at the end of the day, the bears had the battle was actually won in their own advantage. But if you look at US 100, you could see that it's been ranging just within this region. If you look at this bullish candle, the green candle, you look at the bearish, you also look at this third candle, and also the fourth one. You could also see there has been a whole lot of tussle. Now, what is actually looking at for now is a breakout. And if you also look at the trend of US 100, it's been creating a higher high and all. It's been getting series of higher high. Now, looking at this point where the price has been ranging, we also should be looking out for a breakout. And that breakout is likely and most likely to happen today because of the news we're expecting to come out from the US. Because of the news we're expecting to come out from the US. Now let's take a look back to 1 hour. Now, if you look at US 100 on 1 hour, you could also see the large candle movement now. Now, it wouldn't be advisable for you to enter now. That's if you are yet to, if you didn't take this trade. Now, for us to be able to execute trade here, I'm going to suggest that we look at taking a suggested buy if price is able to break past this region here. If price is able to break past this region, that is the 38.2 Fibonacci level, which is a resistant point. Now, if you look at the marked out region, if price is able to break and surpass this region here, I'm going to suggest a buy here. I'm going to suggest a buy here, and you can equally take this buy up until the next resistance level. But if you, depending on the type of trader you are, you can just take it bit by bit. But mind you, the better the lot size you take on these trades, the higher the profitability if it swings in your favor. So if you're able to execute this trade, I'm going to suggest a buy at this point. If price is able to break past this level here, I'm going to suggest a buy. And you can set your take profit here and equally set the second take profit just here. You can equally set the second take profit just here. But alternatively, if there is a push downwards, and price decides to retrace, now I'm going to suggest a sell just below this support region here. I'm going to suggest a sell just below this support region, and you can equally take your take profit here at this region as well. Now the good thing is that the pip per value for this index is very wonderful. So most times you don't really need all the pips that you can get. Just a little with a good lot size would give you some good value. Now you can also wait for 1:30 because you also expect a whole lot of move come 1:30 and also by 2:30 when the stock market opens properly. But before then, you can equally take advantage of all these moves. If price is able to break past this resistance point, you can join the continued buy and also take profit at this first and second region. And also if price decides to go bearish, you can equally join the trend and take a suggested sell at this point and also at the same point. Okay, so let's also look at DAX, that's D30, and also see what D30 did yesterday and what we're expecting it to do today as well. Okay, now the good thing about index against currencies. Now, DAX is actually the top 30 performing stocks in Germany, like you already know. And Germany happens to be one of the strongest economy in the Eurozone. So now that the euro as a currency is currently weak, we expect or like you already see, we expect stocks to rise. And if you look properly, you could actually see that has been happening on DAX. Now, the journey for this move actually started at this point, and since then it's been a series of higher high up until the week resistance, which we normally expect when a particular instrument either buys or sells for a very long period of time. At some point, we expect a retracement, and at that point, those trades are being taken sentimentally due to the fact that price has been on the increase for a while. So at some point, you also expect the price of that instrument to weaken and drop. Okay, so because we're not expecting any news from the Eurozone, so trades on DAX is going to be purely on technical analysis. And if you look at this point here, price was able to just get close to this untested resistance on the daily time frame. And as today as well, price opened higher than part of the body of the candle of yesterday. So based on that, we also expect the push to continue. But if you look at it on the 30-minute time frame, you could also see that it got to this weak resistance here, and there was a retracement. So for us to take a trade here, I'm going to suggest a buy on DAX if price is able to break past this resistance point. You could also see the marked out region. If price is able to break out above this resistance point, I'm going to be suggesting a buy on DAX, and you can equally set your take profit just before the untested resistance. Just before the untested resistance, you can just set your take profit here. And just like the previous index, the US 100, this is also another wonderful index that also gives you value, but you also need the equity to trade on this. Now, but for the sell, you can equally take a suggested sell just at this region. If price is able to get and break past this region, you can equally take a suggested sell and just set your take profit before this support that you have here. Just set your take profit before this support that you have here. Now for the buy, I suggest and I advise you wait for price to break past this weak resistance here. And also you can equally go in for a suggested buy and just set your take profit just before the untested resistance. Okay. So also the news we're expecting from the US zone might really have a little, no effect on DAX, but because it's actually a euro-dominated index, because it's a top 30 performing stocks in Germany, we also look at it technically because we are not expecting any news from it for today. Okay, so let's also look at oil and see what it's been doing on its own as well. So if you look at it currently now, you see that the price of oil has been on the increase, and it's been on a steady increase for the past 8 days. For the past, sorry, this is 30 minutes. Now, if you look at it on the daily time frame, you could also see that it's been on the increase for the past 4 days, and there was a retracement on the 5th day. Then the 6th and 7th day, the price actually has continued to push higher. And now the price from all the fundamental news and the filters coming from Germany, from China, because they happen to be the second largest consuming nation when it comes to oil. US is the first, China is the second, while India is also the third, because China happens to be the world labor capital. Where almost all the things that is being used is being produced, and also because of their population as well. So for oil, it's also a good time for the continued push. That's the bullish push for oil, but it would actually not be advisable because price is gradually getting close to a verified resistance. Price is getting close to a verified resistance, and most times 2 things happens when price gets here. It's either there is a retracement, or there is a breakout. Now, for price to be able to break back above this verified resistance, we expect a fundamental news to take place, or we expect probably a sentiment to break past that level. But today, we are not expecting any news that is expected to affect the price of oil. And like I mentioned earlier, Canada is actually an oil-dominated currency, because their GDP is actually built on the price of oil, because that's the highest thing. That's the only major thing they export as a nation, just like Nigeria. So, but for today, if you go far back to 30 minutes time frame, you could also see that price is almost close to the proven resistance, and it wouldn't be a nice one for us to take in a trade close to a resistance point. So I would rather look out for a retracement at this point. I'd rather look out for a retracement at this point. So if price is able to break below this region as marked out here, I'm going to suggest a sell here. I'm going to suggest a sell at this marked out region. And you can equally look at taking your profit just before the week support, and also at this marked out price and region as well. You can also take your take profit at this marked out price and region as well. But alternatively, if price decides to break up, push further up based on the strength of oil at the moment now, if price is able to break up, push further up, you can equally take a suggested buy. You can equally take a suggested buy just at this marked out price. You can take a suggested buy at this price level marked out here, and with your take profit at the price level marked out as well. So you can just take note of these regions and this price, and look forward to taking your trades when price gets to this particular level. Okay, so on the chart now, I just saw somebody dropped US30, please. I think if you actually want to trade on index, and you are looking for index that gives you value per pip, you should actually focus more on US 100 and US 100. But let's have a final look at US30 before we call it a day for this morning. Okay, so let's look at US30. Okay, for US30, now if you look at US30, it's currently being restricted at this particular resistance point. At this particular resistance point here. But let's take a look yesterday and see what happened. Now US30 has actually done what is called a 100% full retracement, and when you got to this resistance point here, there was a push down on US30. Price retraced at this particular point here. Now let's go back to 4 hours, okay, and also see what happened. The same thing happened when price got to this level. It was pushed down. If you also go back to 1 hour, you could also see the push down on price as well. But if you actually want to take a trade on US30 this morning, I also advise and also suggest that you wait for price to break past this level that is being marked out here. Is actually a resistance region here. You need to wait for price to break past this resistance region, and once price is able to break out at this region, you can go in for a suggested buy. And equally just set your take profit within this region. You can set your take profit at this particular, or this within this suggested region here, because there is a resistance here as well. Okay, so but alternatively, looking at what's happening currently, if price is able to break below this trend line, which serves as a support, you can go in for a suggested sell here, and equally set your take profit just before the verified support. Set your take profit just before the verified support. Okay. So that's going to be what we should be looking out for on US30. Okay, someone asked a question: can I trade D30 or commodities if I have a 200K account, please? Now you can actually choose one. It's either you focus on D30 or you focus on commodities. Now it's because of the size of your capital, you can either choose one. Okay, because if you decide to dive into both, you can actually be exposing your account a whole lot. So it's suggested that you focus more either on D30, use a good lot size to be able to maximize your profits, or you focus more on a particular commodity, be it gold or oil, with a good lot size as well. And once the market swings in your favor, definitely you are looking at a huge return as well. So, but trading both at the same time, it's not what I'm going to advise this morning. Okay. So please, like I mentioned earlier, for all the trades mentioned here and you want to take advantage of them, please kindly fund the account and take advantage of our redeposit bonus for the month of August. So talk to your account manager. It's going to give you the exact figures you can get depending on the amount you want to deposit. So Mr. Ezra is asking the question, please, should I hold my sell on gold? Should I hold my sell on gold? So let's look at gold and see what's happening. Okay, if you're on a sell on gold, from what I'm seeing here, technically, you're actually not really on the bad side of the trade. So if you actually have the capital and you've been able to set either your stop loss or take profit, you can just monitor the trade closely. Okay. So Mr. Tamno is saying, what's the difference between index and commodity? Now, index actually stocks put together to form an index. Let's take, for instance, individually here in Nigeria, we have GTCO stocks, we have First Bank stocks, we have Sterling Bank stocks, using Nigerian markets for a proper illustration. Now, when you put the GT stocks, the First Bank stock, and the Sterling stocks, three of them become an index. Okay, so it's actually three stocks or stocks put together. That's what forms an index. While commodities are oil, gold, platinum, silver, these are actually commodities. Okay. So I think that's a proper, clear example of what a commodity is and what index are. Okay. Okay, I think someone is on Eurocard trade. So let me just look lastly to Eurocard before I call it a day for today, so we can actually start making the money. Okay, for the person that is on a buy on Eurocard, you also need to consider the entry level, the point at which you entered the Eurocard. Currently now, it's been a bad it's been it's been bad for the euro against the Canadian dollar. But the two things matter, depending your entry point and also depending the size of your capital. Okay, so if you have a good capital base, okay, and the where you entered is not very far from the current price, now you can actually hold on or set your stop loss at least to limit the loss you are ready and willing to take from that particular trade. Okay, so you can equally speak to your account manager, share your screen with him, and he or she will get to see where you are and also give you a proper advice. Okay, so I haven't done this. I want to thank each and every one of us for making our time to join today's morning market review, and I expect to see lots of profit withdrawals today from all the trades mentioned here, and also come 1:30 and 3 p.m. for USD pairs and USD related index commodities or pairs. You should be looking forward to taking some trades. And also, if you want to make more, look out also taking some trades with a good lot size and also increase your capital or equity for you to be able to do so. The time frame must not be daily time frame. You can analyze based with 4 hours, 1 hour, and 30 minutes. Okay, so thanks for your time and thanks for making our time to join. We look forward to seeing you again next week, Monday, when the class continues. And for most of us who are still finding difficult to grasp or fully understand trading, we can make our time to join our weekly trainings Monday, Tuesday, 10 a.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So thanks for your time and have a lovely weekend. Bye.